Hey, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Razar Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Just want to do a quick World War III update. So you're watching the news, you're seeing the situation over there in the Middle East is definitely getting more and more corrosive and intensifying, and basically lines are getting crossed where these so-called diplomatic negotiations and peace talks and ceasefires is basically about to come to an end, man, because Iran, modern day Persians today, are not happy, and they're not dealing with America's bullying tactics anymore, and in regards to these diplomacy negotiations, and they're not going to play ball with America and their shenanigans basically, and America's looking like they're not falling for it either, or they're not going for it either, because now Trump just declared in the last 24 hours that for the American army to unleash untimely hell, the gates of hell, on the Iranians, regards to the Strait of Hormuz situation that's been ceasefire or closed because of the so-called ceasefire, a negotiation that basically went to shitters, so to speak, and as we expected, because there's not going to be no peace in the Middle East until World War III totally culminates and comes to an end, and the real children of Israel, being the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the elect, be gathered by way of the chariots of the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, the English called JC, the chariots of Israel, which the so-called UFOs, and be taken back to the Holy Land, back to the land flowing with milk and honey, and then righteousness is going to reign upon the earth in a new heaven and a new earth, all over again, man. A new paradise, new Idan, new Eden. But until that happens, man, there's going to be so much turmoil to the point of no return. The Valley of Decision over there in the Arabian Peninsula, where the bulk of the main World War III is going to take place. And this third war is definitely coming quickly, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 14. The third war cometh quickly. 2 wars have passed, and behold, the third world war is coming quickly. We're in the midst of it, man. Now you got the situation with the US saying they're basically going to attack and send ground troops to invade and take over this land here called Kharg Island in Iran, which is basically in the midst of basically round about the same area as the Strait of Hormuz. It's a little island just basically off the Strait of Hormuz, in the middle basically, and the US Army is looking to invade it, take by ground troops. And then you got the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas, I think his first name's Abbas, I think his last name's Agachi, this guy here. So they're waiting for their arrival, and basically, if they do anything, if they try and do any extracurricular activity and try and threaten their people's livelihoods and so on and so forth over there, is basically a declaration of war, which is the war's already been declared, but it's just basically going to be an all-out straight up chaos, and more bodies are going to drop, and definitely Americans armies, them ground troops they're going to be sending over there are definitely going to start dropping. And that's why they're going to send for a global draft very soon. Probably in the next couple of months, towards the end of this year, they're going to send for the global draft, because the American armies are going to be getting depleted by the looks of it, because they're going to keep sending the troops over there to the Iranian Peninsula and all that, and they're not going to be coming back to the homeland, man. They're going to die over there in them barren lands, man. So it's not looking good for America right now. Trump's on desperate measures. And when he's stupid to desperate measures, he started doing things out of the ordinary. So now he's trying to launch a strike on Kharg Island. This is the biggest oil hub amid war escalation. So if they, it's not going to be looking good, man. But by the looks of it, this is exactly what's needed, because the Lord said He's going to gather all the troops. Multitudes of troops are going to be gathered in the Valley of Decision. So this is all leading into that Third World War, ultimatum, so to speak. All these nations are going to be gathered over there in the Middle East to be judged by Yahweh Shem Shai, with the weapons of his indignation, the WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, the waster that was created to destroy, pursuant to Isaiah 54:16. Smith that blow off the coals and the fire, created a waster to destroy, and that destroyer, the waster to destroy, is going to destroy the whole inhabitants of America, the whole land, and the land of Israel too, you know, to get rid of them gutter rats over there like BB and them. There's currently a guy in New York, I'm not sure if he's a New York mayor or something like that, but he's a New York politician, and he's calling for the arrest of BB Netanyahu. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. But apparently he's calling for the arrest warrant of BB Netanyahu in the Americas. So see what happens from there. But this war is definitely escalating, man. So it says Kharg Island, also spelled Kharg Island, often referred to as the Forbidden Island, is a continental island of Iran, of the Persian Gulf. The island is 25 kilometers off the coast of Iran, 660 kilometers northwest of the Strait of Hormuz, man. So it's right there in the heart of the Strait of the Hormuz, man. It's right there, man. Smack bang in the middle, man. So, you know, and also you had all these nuclear site attacks in Bashir in the last 24 to 48 hours from America and Israel. The pig raiders, man. The U.S. was attacked. The U.S. attacked the nuclear sites of Bashir just in the past 24 to 48 hours, and another place as well. I think it was called Dagestan or Darker Vein, if I'm saying it properly, Slovakia. So this was it's intensifying, man. There's no way there's diplomacy and all that's gonna quell the beef, so to speak, or keep things at bay. This shit is now they're sending ground troops, and Trump's just not he's not thinking with a full deck, man. He's just moving carnally and not wise as a serpent, but and he's gonna end up putting himself in the deeper hole, digging themselves in a deeper hole, and coming back with a lot of more dead soldiers as he's sending troops over there to the Kharg Island, man, to invade the island of Iran, or one of Iran's islands, man. It's gonna get bloody and crazy out here. So Iran's foreign minister Abbas warned the U.S. forces will face the repercussions. Yeah. So basically, he's warning there's going to be repercussions if they overstep their mark, basically. So waiting for the arrival of Iran's big warning against the U.S. ground invasion. U.S. President Trump has repeatedly mused about ramping up American efforts, including potentially attempting to seize Kharg Island. This is amid the U.S. Donald Trump renewed threats of border escalation. Tehran has warned Washington of consequences of any adventure. Says to seize Kharg Island and a crucial oil depot. Island's foreign minister, the spokesperson, Minister Ismail Bagil, warned that there are people in Iran who are counting down the minutes to welcome the U.S. forces in any ground invasion. Yeah, so it's gonna get crazy out there, man. It says they will face the repercussions. It says there are numerous people in those very regions who are eagerly awaiting their arrival. Yeah, they're waiting for America to set trip so they can blast their ass to hell and back, man. He said that during a media address, because they're Armenians, which are the modern day Persians, prophesied in Ezekiel the 30th chapter, the Iranians today. They want America's president's head on the stake, man. They're the Ayatollah. They want their revenge for that, assassination of their general and all that, man. So the Armenians are definitely raging right now. They're not gonna play fair, basically, with America if they overstep their mark in the Kharg Islands, man. Try to seize the Kharg Islands. It's definitely gonna get bloody. There's gonna be a pile of bodies over there before you know it, man. Pile of dead bodies, should I say? So this is getting heated, man. It's definitely getting heated. So this is why we got to keep our eyes on the prize, man. Keep watching as well as praying. But obviously we know the Third World War is not going to culminate to the to its full end, with the ICBM missiles getting launched for all four corners of the earth, yet on America and Israel, because the last major prophecies being the Jacob trouble and the mark of the beast, the hour of temptation, have to be implemented first around the four corners of the earth, and then the nuclear missiles is bombs away, basically, around the corner. So we're definitely in that time, and prophecies are definitely speaking, man. They're not tarrying. As I said, Revelation 11:14 says the third will cometh quickly, and it's definitely speeding up, hastening the day. So yeah, man, it's just beautiful, man, to see. Says Joel 3:9, so proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So all these nations are preparing for war, man. NATO, the EU nations, the beast system, against the BRIC nations and against Iran, which Iran's part of the BRIC nations anyway. So yeah, it's definitely going to culminate, and then ultimately, the negotiations of diplomacy and all of that's going to come to an end, because it tells you in Isaiah 13:17 regarding the Medes, which is Russia, or Ashar, which is chief prince or head prince of Meshech and Tubal, prophesied in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. The Medes said that they're not going to regard silver nor gold. So the peace talks, negotiations of diplomacy is going to come to an end, and they're going to shoot their firing swords, man, their glittering sword, which is the nuclear missiles, on America. And the Medes are going to be the destructive force of the America getting destroyed and turned into a lake of fire, man, by way of the ICBM missiles. As well as America's so-called allies turning against him as well. Add more fire to that flame, that harlot that's going to be, burning over there, which is America, Babylon the Great, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. So this is Joel 3:9 again. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. They're coming up, man. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your wooden hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Yes, and now Persia, Iran, the Carmenians, they're definitely strong, man. They're not as weak as America thought they was, because they're a small island or a small country compared to the Americas. But they made America a laughing stock in the past couple of months. The Americans were supposed to go over there and invade it and take over the land and do their thing, so to speak, on the behalf of the pig raiders, BB and them. But the least of the flock shall draw them out. But they've been basically embarrassed, man, by that small country, that dense population of basically Indians, man, Elamites, that's ready to go to war, and they got the artillery there ready to be used. Now there's articles coming out saying that the US is basically regarding their artillery and weaponry. They're basically starting to be depleted at a faster rate. So all of the weaponry that they once had and all that stuff, and the millions and upon millions that they spend on creating those weapons, most of them have been utilized and been used already. So now America's going to be spread thin, basically, regarding their military might and their military in general, man, because they're going to be sending a lot of their troops out there to die over there in them different islands, man, especially over there in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, where the bulk of the war is going to take place, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. So this is all it's working against the West, man. It's working against King Trump, aka Nero, and it's going to lead to the destruction of America ultimately, and the land of Israel too. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. And you can notice it's all the heathens that are gathering together for war. You got the Elamites against the Edomites, pig raiders, which are Edomites, and American Edomites against the so-called Arabs, sons of Arabia, and the Elamites as well, Ishmael and Elam together. So it's all the heathen nations that are gathering together. Like the Lord said, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together. And then you're going to have the Russian Edomites, the Chinese, which are the Moabites, getting involved, So it says, come together, come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Did thou cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord? Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Valley of Decision over there in the Middle East, and the barren lands of the Saudi Arabia. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Yeah, the Lord gonna judge all the nations, man. Verse 14, multitudes and multitudes in the Valley of Decision, for the day of the Lord is near. It is in the valley of decision. Yep. So this is all leading to what the end of that Third World War, culminating to the War of Armageddon, man, and it's going to be a very destructive and very impactful, where the whole earth is going to feel the trembles, as it tells you in Revelation. Let me get that real quick. Revelation 11. The great earthquake was heard. Right, the 12th verse. Around 13. Revelation 11 and 13. In the midst of that world war, the elect have to be beamed up, as it says in the 12th verse, that the elect are going to be taken up in the cloud, which is talking about the Lord's fathership chariot of Israel, that's going to sift up the elect from America, while the World War III is taking place, while the end of World War III is basically taking place, with nuclear missiles being shot off from one part of the earth to the ends of the earth, which represents America. Verse 13, it says, and they're sitting in the same hour, because it's only going to take 1 hour for the America to be totally wiped off the face of the earth. And in the same hour was there a great earthquake. So the whole earth is going to feel the tremors of the impact of this world war, man. The earth's going to shake to and fro like a drunk. It's going to be shaking off its Richter scale. Tremors and all that all over the earth. The tectonic plates are going to be moving at a different rate, man, than ever before. So this is going to be impactful, and everyone's going to witness it and feel it at the same time. It says, and the 10th part of the city fell, which represents 10 parts of America, which represents, basically the majority of America being wiped off, for whether it's the first couple strikes, but ultimately the whole land's going to be turned into a lake of fire, man. It says, in the 10th part of the city fell. You got 10 FEMA camp states, as they show you in the FEMA maps. It says, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, where 7,007 represents a complete number. So there's going to be a complete number of men, women, and children slain over there in the land of America, man. Especially the ones that, are not getting sifted up into the chariot as part of the Lord's elect of the nation of Israel. 2/3 are going to be part of the 7,000 that are going to be slain over there in the land of America. A complete number of the dead bodies, from the heathen to Jake, 2/3 of Jake. It says, and the remnant were affrighted, the remnant which represents you, the elect. It says, and gave glory to the power of heaven. Yeah, because they're going to be sifted up into the air as the nuclear missiles are coming into basically the kill zone of America. The nuclear missiles are going to hit ground zero. What's that called? DEFCON 1. Once it hits DEFCON 1, and those nuclear missiles are coming directly into the land, and there's no way to stop them. Just basically brace for impact. The elect have to be sifted up and taken up into the chariot simultaneously. So that's how they're going to be delivered, and that's why they're going to be affrighted, because they're going to escape. They're going to escape by the skin of their teeth, so to speak. It says, the scriptures say that shall scarcely make it. Shall scarcely be saved. They're going to make it by the skin of their teeth. Even down to the last brother, as part of the 144,000 getting sifted up into the chariot, while the nuclear missiles are coming into, the DEFCON area of America, man. It says, the second war was past, I was quoted earlier, and behold, the third war cometh quickly yet. And this war is happening so fast. It's not slowing down at any moment, man. It's not really slowing down, or it's picking up pace. And now, even though these ground troop situations is, it's all going to lead to the point of no return, man. They're crossing lines where they can't go back now. So all these negotiation talks really is going to come to an end very much soon, because Iran's not falling for the okie doke in America. They're trying to force their hand right now because Iran doesn't want to play ball with them, man. They know that the Iranians are not afraid of them like they once was, because of their nuclear capability and who represents them. Who's backing them, which is the modern day Medes, which is Russia. So this is second Esdras 15 and 28. It says, behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out, and many chariots, and the multitudes of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, and that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So you're seeing all these armies getting ready, and they're all gathering together, and they're all culminating for that great war, man. And it's gonna be The bodies are definitely going to be piling up. That's why the first job of the wicked elite in the kingdom of heaven is burying those dead bodies over there in the Middle East, man. They're going to have a lot of work to do as their first job, you know. It's further employees in the Lord's kingdom, man. There's going to be a lot of dead bodies that they're going to have to dig holes and bury, man. Pits and all of that, so to speak. It says 30, verse 30. Also, the Carmanians raging, which is what the modern day Carmanians is talking about, the Elamites, so-called Persians today, raging in wrath because they're pissed. They want revenge against what America did when they murdered they assassinated their Ayatollah, so to speak. They're very pissed, man. They want revenge. They're in wrath. It says, shall go forth as a wild boar. You know, a wild boar just tears through shit when it's running at high speeds and velocity, man. It's nothing, anything in its way is getting knocked down. You know, it says of the wood. It says, with great power, and with great power shall they come. Yeah. So they got their armaments, man. They got their weaponry and artillery ready to go to war with the West, especially America and them pig Railies. And the pig Railies over there, they ain't got a chance against Iran, because Iran's just basically bullying them. they're just getting bullied over there by the Iranians over there in the land of Israel, man. Tel Aviv and all of that. They're getting bullied, man. They got their Iron Dome ain't doing shit. You know, it says, and join battle with them. It says, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which modern day Assyria is talking about, where America. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Yeah. Doesn't it say that Ishmael's a wild man? You know, so the Arabians, which are modern day Ishmael, and the Edomites, which is modern day Persians, the Indians, so to speak. You know, with Arabs, this means mixed anyway. So they're on smoke, man. They're on smoke with the West, man. They like, bring it, man. That's why they're warning them. Like, if you come over here to Kharg Island, you better not be doing some funny maneuvers, man, or you're gonna get your ass handed to you. Straight up, they're on the smoke. They want it. It says, and then shall the dragons have their upper hand, remembering their nature. It says, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Yeah, to persecute you Americans, man. Because they've had enough of your shenanigans, man. Everyone's getting fed up with these small hats, man. You know? And it says, then these shall be troubled bled. Then these shall be troubled bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them. It says, and consume some of them. It says, and in their host shall be fear and dread, and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds come from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very terrible, very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm, man. So this war is culminating to the point of no return, and it also represents the chariots of the Lord, the terrible chariots of the Lord, full of wrath and storm. They're coming as well from the heavens, the third realm. You know, the Lord going to invade this earth with his troopers. It tells you in the book of Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, around the 16th verse on down. So, you know, this war is going to be a spectacle that the world's never even seen before, man. And at the same time, the elect are going to be getting delivered. Salvation of the Lord's elect, remnant, you know, 144,000, the new government, the house of tabernacle of David being revived as we speak. They're going to be sifted up into the chariot, given new bodies, may turn into immortals, and then they're going to come down from the chariots as gods amongst men and take over this earth in righteousness, man. We're going to take the kingdom from these devils, man. You know, because Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So prophecy is speaking louder and clearer, man. And this is why we always harp on prophecy, because this is what a prophet's supposed to do. You know, and this is comforting for us, because, you know, this is the patience and faith of the saints. Because once these devils go down, man, there's no more power for them to come back up. You know, and they're going to be in slavery for 1,000 years after that, getting their asses handed to them, man. You know, that's what you call poetic justice right there. So, yeah, man, let the war commence. You know, let it commence, man. Anyway, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ba'chodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.